guys, it's Josephat, and today I want us to look at formula and variation. It's a topic that I was requested by somebody from Mumbi. I can't remember her name, and it's a question that was brought in 2018, I think Maths paper 2, question 2. And I will only summarize the topic using at least 2 questions. The topic itself has 5 sections that you need to understand. And the first section is on formula, that is changing the subject of a formula. And the rest of the parts is on variation. We have direct variation. Direct variation is where you have, say, y is equals to or is directly proportional to x. Then when you replace it with an equal sign, you give it a constant. Say y is equals to kx. This is a constant, and x and y are the variables. That is direct variation. Mostly there are 2 variables in most cases, but when you find 3 variables, it's still direct variation. It usually forms a linear equation, some kind of a linear equation like this one. When we come to inverse variation, this is where you have y is inversely proportional to x. This is where you say y is inversely proportional, or the value of x is in form of a fraction. Then introducing a constant is the same way. So you replace this variation sign with an equal sign. So y is equals to c. C is your constant over x. That is inverse proportion. You usually write one of the variables as a fraction. Partial equation, when you see a question that says y is partly variable to x and partly variable to another thing, whatever should come to your mind is the general equation of a straight line. Y is equals to mx plus c. This is a partial equation. It is divided into 2, so you are supposed to write a plus sign between the 2 variables. Then joint variation is where you have, say for example, simple interest is directly proportional to principal rate over time, rate times time over 100. This is joint. You are joining principal, rate, and time simply by multiplying the variables, the 3 variables. So this is joint variation. Then after you are aware of that, I'm sure there is no question that you can tackle. So today I wanted us to look at changing the subject of the formula. I have one question already. Then I will also tackle on the next video direct variation, inverse variation, and joint variation. I will tackle the 3 in form of one question. So for the question, I'm still using the KCSE made familiar. The topic is in form 3, formula and variation. That is page 128. Page 128. And I've chosen a question number 18. Make S the subject of the formula. So W is equals to the third root of S plus T over S. Here we are making S the subject of the formula. So if you get such a question, what you need to do is to make S to be on this side, or you bring S to this side. And for you to bring S to this side, first of all, this question has a root, so you have to remove this root here. And for you to remove this root, specifically the third root, you take the cube of both sides. An example, when you have 1000 and you are finding the cube root, this is the same as 10. The cube root of 1000 is the same as 10. Or if you multiply 10 times 10 times 10, you are going to get 1000. So in these 3 tens, you take 1. So the cube root of 1000 is 10. You can take 10 to power 3 to be equal to 1000, or you can take the cube root of 1000 and equate it to 10. That's what we are doing here, because if you take the cube root, if you have a cube root on this side and you take its cube on both sides, these and these will cancel. So whatever you will be left with here will be w cubed is equals to s plus t over s. I hope you've understood. I've taken, here we have the cube root, so I've taken the cube on both sides, or I've cubed both sides, and the cube root here and the cube will cancel, and on this side I will have w cubed. So the next thing is to remove this denominator, and the way to remove this denominator is to multiply both sides by s. You multiply this side by s. So this s and this s will cancel. So s times w cubed will be s w cubed is equals to, on this side I will be left with s plus t. Okay, so because this and this have already cancelled out. So for you to make s the subject of the formula, s should be on one side and the other variables should be on the other side. So what I will do, I will take s to the other side and it will be minus s. So I will have w cubed minus this s is equals to, on this side I will be left with t. Then for me to find s alone, I factor out whatever is common between sw cubed minus s. I factor out s. So it's going to be s into bracket. I'll be left with w cubed here, because if you take s cubed w and you factor out s, it's like you are dividing with s. These s and these s will cancel out. So I'll be left with w cubed minus, I have s here. If I factor out s, I'll be left with 1. Such that if I multiply s times w cubed, it's going to be sw cubed. And if I multiply s times -1, it's going to be negative s is equals to t. Then I said for you to make s the subject, s should be on one side and the other variables should be on the other side. Because we have a multiply sign here between the brackets, I'm going to divide both sides by w cubed minus 1 divided by w cubed minus 1. That and that will cancel. So I'll be left with s is equals to t over w cubed minus 1. Now this is how you make s the subject of the formula. I hope you've understood, and be ready for the next lesson on the variation part. Stay safe. Don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, share the video to reach as many students as possible. Thank you for watching.